bonjour, and welcome to the Amateur Detective Club. This club is exactly how it sounds. A bunch of amateurs talking about their favorite mysteries. So if you encounter a real mystery or a murder, contact the proper authorities. Do not come to us. We do not know what we are doing. But enjoy the program. Allons-y, let us begin.
Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose.
I call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to order. I'm Miles Neuvirth, the boy detective.
I'm Melissa Meli, the spy.
I'm Tristan Miller, and I'm ashamed of my coworkers.
I'm,
Kid cop.
I'm asleep. It's what I am. Miles Neuvirth, asleep.
We're all sleepy today.
Oh.
Because we're sleepy.
Yeah, we were up too late solving crimes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what
Amateur
we're doing.
crimes. It's like when you commit a crime but it doesn't make you any money.
Yeah.
That's an amateur crime, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we do. That is
Yeah,
actually...
like slashing tires or jaywalking.
Egging houses.
Is that a crime?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's...
Turns out
Yeah.
I'm a criminal. I've never egged a
the
house.
Kid cop.
I would have been
He's Kid
surprised.
cop gone bad. Turn in your kid badge and kid gun.
It's my bar mitzvah.
I apologize for the cough.
Can we get badges? That would be great. I would like that.
Yeah,
sure.
I want to specifically. I want them like shaped like badges, but I want them to be like not cross stitched, but like patches.
Okay, not cross-stitched, but maybe cross-stitched.
Maybe.
Well,
you know what I'm thinking.
Lauren does cross stitching. She
It's
could.
like embroidered.
Yeah,
patches.
did you hear what I said though?
She does cross stitching.
Yeah, so she could maybe. I don't know, Lauren. You're listening.
Oh,
Hit me up.
What's up?
we've had an
Maybe.
idea, Lauren. I don't know why. No one's had enough coffee yet.
I mean,
Is there ever enough?
So today, this is what happens when I run the meetings.
Uh-huh.
They go off the rails. I, as the boy detective who's running the meeting for some reason,
you volunteered.
don't put me on blast like that.
You volunteered. I was like, who's gonna call it? And Miles is like, ooh, please.
Pretty please me. I just need to do it. Today we listened to The Case of the Missing Will.
We did.
William, where is he? Where is he, William? We're going will hunting.
Yes.
Good.
That's what this is about.
Nice.
It is actually the plot of Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
It's the prequel
No.
that everyone's been waiting for.
Just about, like, his abusive father? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
and we've
so
CGI'd
what-
Andy Serkis to look like
Baby Robin Williams?
Robin.
Like Mork from Orc level Robin Williams? Yeah, okay, cool. Not disrespectful at all. Like, I'm upset about the genie thing, but anyway, can we please move forward? What happens? Setting, Meister.
Setting. So we start off in the study as usual, and our good friend Hastings is telling us about a problem they were given that was very different from usual problems that they are given. A young woman named, I think it was Victoria Marsh? Violet Marsh.
Yeah.
I was so close.
Stop. In this part, Hastings is the worst man I've ever heard.
Hastings
Yes.
is terrible in this one.
Oh, man.
He's never, like,
He's
here's the
he's
thing.
She came in, basically she was like
Smart.
well dressed and looked as if she was looking to get on in the world. And Hastings is not a fan of the so-called new
woman. It's
Yeah.
it's super gross. It's super, super gross, and we're gonna talk at length about this because, man, this entire story is about feminism. And,
Yeah.
Sure.
well, I mean, kind of. It's about feminism.
Yeah, I know. Sure.
But
Like,
we're-
sure.
Yeah.
But also, it's one of those things of, here's something kind of funny. Like, Hastings doesn't often voice his opinions like that, but he thinks that, and you can apply that to real life, too. Like, men who are quiet, they're keeping to themselves. Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah. There's the swear.
Yep. We didn't have
I
it in the
suppose,
last
yeah,
one,
like-
huh?
We didn't. I
We-
was so proud of us, guys. Specifically coming off of the cuss storm that was Christina Tucker. I was so proud. It was like, I don't have to edit this one at all. Anyway. So she comes in and she's like, oh.
Hey, here's my whole life story, which is my dad was poor, but my uncle got rich, and then my dad died, and my uncle raised me. Mm-hmm. But my uncle was worse than Hastings. He's like, well, women should learn domestic skills and not book smarts. Yes.
End of list.
End of list. And
Yeah, pretty much.
basically, as this woman grew up, she's like, I think I have a very good brain, and I am not good. I have no skill for domestic skills, so I'm going to go learn things. And the uncle is like, if you do that, I will leave you nothing. If you stay, I will leave you everything because you're my only living relative. And she's like,
Well, looks like I'm
sorry,
getting nothing.
I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, she gets
Then-
a scholarship. She's gonna go do learning. She gotta go do her thing.
Learning what a thing it is.
And over the last few years, she had visited her uncle a few times, and it had been amiable enough. But one of the times he'd been like, "So you think your brain's pretty good, eh? Well, we'll see how it goes against my brain." And so, like, basically says he's going to challenge her to a test of brains.
I clearly cannot choose a goblet in front of me.
Yes, and then he dies. Not promptly, but eventually.
Yeah, so his will has become a puzzle that she has to
Yeah,
solve in
which-
order to get his money,
All right, so
which
I
is
don't
really
like
messed up.
Hastings in this, and I don't like the uncle's
Uncle Arthur.
idea in this. But this idea of like a will treasure hunt, I'm so into.
Miles
Like,
and I
oh,
have talked at length about that's what we would do.
We want to do
We
that.
want to commission 2 oil paintings of each other that have like corresponding coordinates of the map for when we die.
when we die, so our offspring has to like
Work.
find the clues.
We're like
and
Jackie
put them
Chan.
together.
You have to work for your
Amazing.
inheritance. We're like Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so magical. No, it's
Okay,
really...
so, but-
yeah. Yep.
While we're stalled here, Melissa, you wanted to talk about like the feminist themes of this thing, and I think you, out of the 3 of us, should talk about that.
So here's the thing, because this is a really fun premise, and it ends up being a really fun treasure hunt thing. But for the entire time, Hastings is super gross. The entire premise of it is super gross based on Uncle Andrew's views. And I know back when Agatha was writing this, because she came from a family where she was encouraged to not read and whatnot, and then she was like, okay guys, whatever, I'm going to become a famous author. Look at me, best-selling, most best-selling, yeah.
Bestest-selling.
Bestest-selling author. All of her books are like second only to the sales of the Bible or something like that. Anyway, just a little backstory there. But no, she was clearly one of these new women that Hastings doesn't like. So it's really interesting from this perspective of having Agatha write about something that was, a thorn in her side growing up, and like writing from the perspective of a character that doesn't agree with that. And so I'm sure for the time, this story ends up being pretty pro-feminist, all in, but by today's standards, it does not hold up, and we're going to get to the end of it, too. But I just... Anyway, let's get into what happens.
Okay.
So there's not really a crime in this.
No, the crime is that I get away scot-free.
Yeah, but also there aren't really suspects.
Uncle
Let me talk about
Arthur.
the suspects.
Okay.
It's Uncle Arthur. I mean...
Right. Yeah. He did it.
Kidding,
He did
it's
the
Uncle
thing.
Andrew, because that's what his actual name is.
Yeah,
Oh.
I say Uncle Arthur because of Bewitched.
Oh,
That's me. That's
Got
my
it.
I
fault.
didn't remember his name was Andrew, but I have an Uncle
Andrew,
Andrew.
I thought of that, too.
It's weirding me out.
So, but there's no
My
crime.
Uncle Andrew is not sexist as far as I know. Just throwing that out there.
But he is sexy. He looks like a young Paul Newman.
That's actually true.
Mm.
Except for he's also a party clown, so
It's
balance those
horrifying.
two things.
I'm trying to.
Sexy young Paul Newman sometimes is a party clown.
I'm trying to suss out if any of that is true.
Oh no! This
Literally all of it.
This is
Yeah.
this has awakened something in me, and now I can never finish.
Okie doke.
It's put something to sleep in me forever. It's killed something in me.
Okay, so
What happens?
there's no crime except for this pain in the butt treasure hunt.
Yes.
So basically, they go to his manor, which is basically just a farm.
Crabtree Manor.
Yeah. They go there, and there's two very charming rustics.
Oh my gosh.
The way
Rustics. They're the bakers.
the way Agatha writes poor people is always fascinating.
Yeah.
Because I want to know, Melissa, you might be able to, because you did a bunch of research on her for Historical Hotties. Was she affluent from
Yeah.
the beginning? Okay, so
Yeah.
that's why. Because it's pretty classist, the way she handles
Oh, totally.
poor people. in
Yeah,
the books.
absolutely. She was always
And
wealthy.
it's not great.
Yeah.
But anyway, they go there, they talk to the bakers, and they're like, oh, yep, they definitely, there was a will, and we signed it, but he got 2 copies, because I reckon he wanted to, just in case he lost one, and he did! So, it was good that he did that then, no?
Right. So the whole thing has been set up, like, the time of the wills matters a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the original, that's okay, the original will that Violet, I keep saying the names that you got, the wrong
Sorry, my
names that
bad.
you said.
I did that. That was my fault.
That's okay. Miss Marsh, the will that Miss Marsh knows about,
It's a real mishmash.
a real Miss Marsh, the will that she knows about was written at
I much
11.
prefer Miss April.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I will let you finish, Melissa, I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
I'm so glad that you're interrupting me in this very feminist episode.
Yeah, it's because I'm sleepy. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. It is okay. So, the one she knows about was written at 11 a.m. And so, Poirot says, okie doke, we gotta look out for anything, even if it was written a half an hour later, to see, because that would then supersede the 11 a.m. will. So, yes, as Tristan was saying, Poirot goes to the bakers, and the bakers are like, yeah, I remember him writing the 11 a.m. one. And I remember because the cocoa overflowed, and it was...
Yeah. Don't you remember? The cocoa overflowed. It was so ridiculous.
And then she has this little... David Suchet does this little chortle in the performance of it. Like, oh, so charming. The cocoa just overflowed, don't you? It's so memorable. It's really, really cute. Yeah. And then he wrote another will an hour later, so about noon, I guess, that they then signed. Okay. So, where is the newer will? What do we got to do? Tell me.
Follow clues.
Yeah, they ask, well, has anyone else been in the office? And the man's like, nope. And the one's like, oh, there was workers, don't you remember?
You forgot the builder, didn't you,
Oh,
darling?
don't you remember the builders that came in? She's a Monty Python one now.
I was gonna say David Tennant in drag is what that sounded like.
That's who I channel when I'm in Monty Python.
That makes sense.
None of that was anything. So they're like, oh, okay, builders from where? From Plymouth. So they go to Plymouth. And they find the builders, and they're like, oh yeah, we did work. And there's a secret brick.
passageway. What is it?
If you push on one of the bricks, it opens up another brick hole, and there's a secret compartment inside. They're like, well, that was easy. Let's go back and open it up.
Burned.
Push the button, find a paper, and it is burned.
Yep.
So like, someone's been here before us.
Oh no.
But they can tell it was a will, because like remnants of the signatures were there. Like, oh, well, we did it. We found it, but But she gets nothing still, so we failed.
Yeah.
And then they take a train ride home, the end.
Oh, but is it?
But is it?
Yeah, I stopped listening.
We should,
Take an ad break?
I guess this is a good time to take an ad
I think
break.
it is.
Hi guys, it's me, the Kid Cop, Tristan. Tristan the Kid Cop, remember me from the show? So I'm going to talk to you today about a production that Melissa and I just directed of The Winter's Tale by William Shakespeare, which you can come see at the Riverbank State Park Amphitheater on 145th Street and Riverside Drive if you live in New York City, Saturdays, May 12th, 19th, 26th at 6 p.m., and then Sunday, the 20th and 27th at 6 p.m. It's a really great show, fantastic cast of really talented actors, and both Melissa and I are really proud and happy of the work that we put into the show. So come see it, and we'll be there. So if you're a fan of the show and you live in New York and you want to meet us, we're going to be there pretty sure we're going to be there. Okay, back to the show. Love you. Goodbye.
And we're back.
We're
Thank you
back
for enjoying
from our
those
ad break.
delightful ads.
I sure did.
It was, I just love listening to all of them.
Yes.
Do you even listen to the show, Miles?
Sometimes. You know, maybe. Who knows? Every day's a gift.
I listen to
Some days.
every episode. Probably usually the day it comes out. Except
Thank
for
you,
the
Melissa.
Yeah, of course. I'm a loyal listener of the show that
Now,
we
is
make.
it because you enjoy the show, or are you worried what I've done to you in the edit?
He
Yep.
gave you the villain edit. Weird.
Yep, both things.
He gave you the villain edit, and the audience just isn't sympathizing with you
Yeah,
anymore.
you're
I
doing
know.
a heel turn this
You're
episode.
gonna get voted off of the island.
Oh no, I
But
just
we're
got
gonna
back.
bring you back for the all villain season.
Oh,
It's gonna
perfect.
be ideal.
That's been my goal for such a long time. Since the advent of reality TV, I've wanted to be on an all villains episode
Are there
or season.
not a podcast about reality TV shows, but a podcast that is a reality TV show?
I think those are called podcasts.
Can we have we always been able to vote people off of?
Yeah, man.
Is
It's just-
why the brothers are always bickering?
Yeah.
They're just worried one of them's gonna get voted off one of
Yeah,
these things?
absolutely. And the
Probably.
reason it hasn't come up, Miles, is because most of the ones that you and I do are like you and me. So if I vote for you, you vote for me. It's null.
It's true.
We're trapped.
Okay,
We're trapped.
forever. So, Melissa, we could get him off.
I
We could
know.
Get him out of the show. Right?
I mean, you edit it. You do whatever you want.
Oh no, he's got a point. I'll go.
So yeah,
the mystery.
so
the
they're on
thing
this
is, I think we
train.
glossed over kind of is
Oh,
when
yeah.
Poirot first showed up to the cabin.
I'm sorry, Melissa. What were you saying?
Thank you, Tristan.
Yeah.
It's okay. But Miles can continue because I think he's going to say the thing that I was going to say, or maybe something even earlier. So go on.
Yeah, when they first got to the cabin, Poirot was noticing how in order everything was. In particular, he took note of how like all of the china was so well placed,
Yeah.
and all of the keys were neatly labeled with like ivory labels as to where they go, except for the one for the roll top desk, which label was a tiny dirty envelope,
Yep.
and a signature that in a handwriting that they weren't sure was the uncle's.
Right.
So while they're going back on the train, Poirot is like, "Oh, I've not been a double imbecile. I've been an imbecile 36 times."
So good.
Jumps off.
Triple imbecile because 3 and 6. That's a nice little.
Yeah.
As someone who has like mild OCD, it's really nice when she puts in things for me.
And they rush back, and Poirot opens the envelope, and like it's much too small for there to be a will inside that envelope, and he holds it to the fire, and it reveals that there is invisible ink
I
inside
cannot read the
of
fiery
envelope.
letters.
Yeah.
So
And it
good.
said one ring to rule them all.
I know. Who knew?
Weird.
That was
Agatha
where the One Ring went.
is in the envelope the whole time. But no, and it was a will written in invisible ink inside of the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
Signed by a confectioner. Witnessed by a confectioner and his wife.
Yes.
There was a confectioner and his wife.
And this
And
whole
she was
thing
beautiful.
made
What?
me want to find a Poirot-themed escape the room
Uh-huh.
so badly
Oh,
Yeah.
that's such a good idea.
it's crazy. I just want it. I want it in my heart.
Oh, so good. And of course, this will left everything to Miss Marsh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to
Yes.
say that when they're on the train,
Mm-hmm.
Poirot basically wakes up Hastings and is like, "We gotta jump off the train now."
He
Yes.
does this a lot.
I know, and this is the least. This is the lowest stakes thing we've ever listened to, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no crime happened here. It was just a fun little mystery that they got to solve.
I
Yes.
know.
And Poirot felt the need to wake a sleeping Hastings and jump from the train. That was the urgency
Mhm.
level.
Yes.
Hastings, being the absolute worst in this episode, did actually kind of have a point of being a little grumpy about having that happen to him.
Yes.
But yeah. So we resolved this story with them having a little discussion. It's like, oh good, well, Miss Marsh gets the money now. And Hastings goes, well, she didn't really solve it. So she went out and got someone to do it for her. So I guess she didn't best him too bad. And Poirot says no, because part of being smart is knowing when to hire someone to do something for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, sort of, like, okay. I don't know how I felt about this ending.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was... Yeah, go ahead, Tristan.
I mean, I see your point, but also at a certain point, Poirot is correct, and then also, like, he is a genius. That's
Yeah.
like me going to, like, I don't know this problem that's about physics, and I'm going to Neil deGrasse Tyson and going, can you help me with this?
Yeah. I guess the thing that's troublesome to me about it is that, I mean, I know we've got Poirot, so that's what we've got, but we had to have a man come and do it for her.
Sure.
Which is just, it's just a little, it just misses the mark a little bit.
Sure.
I'm sure it was much better 100 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but we at least were able to get a bit of a win over Hastings. It was just, not quite, just didn't, I'm still a little hungry. Still a little hungry for a little bit more feminism.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, if this story had been written today, I'm sure she would have been there with them investigating and noticed, like, oh, this isn't my uncle's handwriting at the end
Yep.
after they do that whole thing, and she would have found it at the end, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Exactly. But, yeah, Hastings was terrible in this one.
Yeah.
Just the absolute worst
Because,
the entire time.
I think we've talked about this before, of, like, he must be so handsome. Because he
Yeah.
treats people so terribly, and he's an idiot.
Well, the thing is, you had a point that I didn't even realize. We know he's terrible, but a lot of his terrible thoughts he does just keep up inside.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even think about. But yeah, he's just like, he's a quiet idiot, which is the most dangerous kind.
Because they present
It's
as
true.
maybe smart.
Because beautiful and quiet. Who knows what's in there?
So, I think this predates his marriage, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I am hoping that his later marriage to Cinderella
Yeah.
helps make his views evolve around women, because she's no shrinking violet,
No.
that
Yes.
wife of his.
Now,
So,
I will say that is very common. Like, single men are the worst.
Yeah.
Single men are the worst.
Yeah.
Having been one
I've
several
been
times.
one, and it was bad.
Horny and too tired to do anything about it. The
Yeah.
Tristan Miller story.
Yeah. That's,
I'm so glad you found the name of your biography.
yep.
So, how many mustaches?
If it were less sexist, I would give it a 5 out of 5. This was a lot of fun and a great adventure, but I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 because
Because of the sexism.
of the sexism.
I super enjoyed it too, but man, it knocked off 2 mustaches for me. Gotta give it a 3.
Yep. I am in that solid 3 as well. I feel completely neutral about it.
Sure. I do just love escape the rooms, like, too much.
I've never done one.
I did one for the first time. It was so cool and fun and good.
I feel like,
I want to so
are you
much.
allowed to leave?
Yes.
Okay, well then I would be okay with it, because, like, I would, if they were like, no, you have to stay here, I'd be like, oh, looks like I'm having a panic attack,
Yeah.
and I'm gone.
Right.
They realize that it's scary,
Good.
and they don't. But because like thing is, you're agreeing to do it.
Yeah,
It's like
you
that's
have
the thing. They don't have to
agency.
like lock you in because you're agreeing to play by the rules.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right. Yeah, it's a fun game, so if you actually have a real emergency, you can leave,
Yeah.
because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that makes sense.
We should
That's a good point.
we should do one.
yeah.
I would love that. That would be fun. And then it could be like our little mystery solving
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
It is actually like what amateur detectives might do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm really excited about all of our planned excursions, like our trip to London,
Yep.
and
Please go to our Patreon and donate there for $3,000 for tickets alone.
Yeah.
we actually might be able to do an escape room if
Yes.
we get enough.
Yeah, like
Patreon.
Escape the Room is very doable.
Just
Yes.
look on Groupon. Get a good deal.
What I want to do,
Yeah.
actually, if we're gonna do anything, is I want to secure the rights to put up the play that Agatha wrote of
Yeah.
Poirot.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that would be good to produce.
Yeah, that's a little bit more of a reach. Less of a reach than London.
More
but a little
reach
bit more
than
than
the
a
escape
middle.
room.
It's right in the middle. It's right in the middle there.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you all audience listeners for listening to that audience. And good job, Miles, for the talk speaking. And yeah. I'm gonna interrupt our housekeeping to call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club adjourned.
Gavel sound.
J'accuse.
Sleep time.
C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, la journée pour la fille. Et dès que je l'aperçois, alors je sens en moi mon cœur qui